Our next story is from Myanmar. It saw a coup in 2021 and has been gripped by civil war since last year. It's the military junta versus armed rebel groups. The situation is going from bad to worse, and now China is about to step in. And when I say China is stepping in, I mean Chinese troops. Beijing is preparing to send soldiers into Myanmar. It has been watching the developments for months, and now it wants to put boots on the ground. The rebels have made steady gains in Myanmar. The junta's grip on power is slipping. They've lost vast swathes of territory since last year. More than half of Myanmar is now in the hands of rebels. And just a few weeks ago, the junta suffered another setback. They lost control of the Myanmar-Bangladesh border. It's a huge setback for the generals. So China is now stepping in to support them. And here it is borrowing Russia's playbook. China is launching its own private military force, something like Russia's Wagner group, a group of mercenaries, a private army for hire. And this is the group that will protect Chinese interests in Myanmar. Beijing, in fact, already has private security companies there. Reports say at least 4 of them are operating in Myanmar as we speak. But this new force that they're creating is going to be different. And here's how it will work. China and Myanmar will set up a security company. Chinese mercenaries will join this company. These are fighters who will come from the Chinese police and army. They call themselves the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. So Chinese cops and Chinese soldiers will join this new group. Reports say they will be selected and recruited in a quote-unquote private capacity. And once they join this company, they will be deployed to Myanmar. They will work alongside Myanmar's military personnel. On paper, this may look like a collaboration, both Myanmar and China working together to build a security force and to protect Chinese projects. But make no mistake about this, Myanmar is not an equal partner in this deal. Look at how they're positioned. Myanmar's junta has already lost 50% of the country. They are on the back foot. Would Chinese mercenaries really take orders from Myanmar's generals? Their failure is the reason why these soldiers are being deployed there in the first place. The junta seized power in February 2021. They toppled the democratic government led by Aung San Suu Kyi. Since then, Beijing has supported the generals. It has supported them with weapons. It has raised investment commitments in Myanmar. It has extended diplomatic cover at global institutions like the United Nations. But in recent months, Beijing has been unhappy. The rebel offensive has put Chinese interests in danger. Chinese projects and personnel have come under attack. And the military, despite Chinese support, has failed to protect them. Even China's diplomatic presence has been targeted. In October this year, a Chinese consulate in Myanmar was struck, and this led to a sharp response from Beijing.
China is deeply shocked and severely condemns the attack. China has made serious representations to the Myanmar side, urging it to conduct a thorough investigation into the attack and make every effort to arrest and severely punish the perpetrators in accordance with the law.
Since October, the situation in Myanmar has barely improved. The generals are struggling, failing to mount an effective counterattack and taming the rebels, which is why China wants to take matters in its own hands. And this won't be a first. China has something called PMCs, Private Military Corporations. PMCs, they have at least 20 such PMCs. These companies, these corporations are active in 40 countries, mostly in Africa. And what do they do there? They protect China's Belt and Road investments. So Myanmar won't be the first country to host Chinese mercenaries. And where in Myanmar will these forces be deployed? Well, they could be tasked to protect oil and gas pipelines. Beijing is building one in Myanmar. It links the Rakhine state to China's Yunnan province. And this project is critical for China's energy security. It is part of the Myanmar-China Economic Corridor. This corridor includes some other projects too, like railway lines and a shipping port. So China is sending soldiers to secure all of this. But this deployment should raise concerns across the region, especially here in India. India too has significant investments in the Rakhine state of Myanmar, like the Sitwe port on the Kaladan River. Only in April this year, India took full control of the Sitwe port. The project holds a lot of potential. It could connect India with its 2 key neighbors, Myanmar and Bangladesh, via land and sea routes. But the full potential of this project still remains untapped. The port is operational, but the land routes are not ready yet. The civil war has made expansion difficult, and there could be more delays in the weeks and months ahead. The security situation in Rakhine is worsening. The rebels have captured most of the state. They control 10 out of 17 townships in Rakhine. And the presence of Chinese mercenaries could exacerbate tensions. It could provoke the rebels further. The story is still developing, but it has profound implications for India and the region. New Delhi must keep a close watch.